Qatar is famous for a thriving business ecosystem, one that has nurtured many innovators and founders. Today we have one such founder, Mr. Balaji, joining us today to share his views on his company. Hello,
Hi.
Mr. Balaji.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. We just have a few questions for you. We'd be very honored to have your views on how you have founded your company and what it takes to actually be an entrepreneur.
Okay. And thanks for having me here, and thanks viewers. I'm introduce myself first. I'm Balaji. I'm a founder of a company called Zearo Private Consulting Services, and we have a cloud-based product called QSale. So we started a company some 14 years before, and when I started a company, I found that a cloud-based application is very, very important for a Qatar, because during that time I was working previously with a company called Ooredoo, and very specifically I was working for a project called copper to fiber migrations. So in this copper to fiber migration, they want fiber infrastructure to all over Qatar.
Okay.
So they did phenomenally good. They converted the complete migration from copper to fiber. The internet speed shoot up from 8 Mbps to, they were talking about 1 Gbps during that time. Then I found that there is a huge opportunity for the cloud-based applications. But on the contrast, I see that the market is very much welcoming for the cloud-based applications.
Right.
And unfortunately, international products or any cloud-based products sometimes need a localization. So very specific to the business nature here in Qatar. Regulatories and the locale related things needed for the cloud-based product. So I found a huge gap that I can fill. So I started a company called Zearo.
Right.
I quit Ooredoo and I started a company, and we developed a product, cloud-based ERP system.
Right.
So we were developed and we are implementing and testing to several businesses. Very early stage of business. So we did a very good amount of development, testing, validation, and learning a business. I was doing everything in parallel.
Okay.
So slowly my learning also started. I identified that one good, now almost I have 14 years of experience in Qatar. And very good and very bad experiences I have it in my journey. So the very good statement I would like to raise is it's very simple to make a complicated things, especially a software. And it's very complicated to do very simple things.
Okay.
So what I found is, in an early stage of my career, I was simply making a lot of complicated things, like complicated ERP systems, and when I tried to develop such complicated, as a technical background, I was very satisfied. Oh, I'm doing something big and huge functionalities, nobody has it. But over the time and experience, I came to know anything you do more complicated, more functional, it is dragging the business. You need to do something very simple.
Right.
So that your reach will be easier. And when it comes to the business, it always needs a simple things. And it's not so easy to do a simple things. So after 5 years, I started simplifying what I did for the past 5 years. So I came to know that what I'm doing in the ERP, it need a huge simplification. So I created a product, cloud-based product called QSale. My core objective is to simplifications. Anything on a complications, I try to cut down. So I started simplifying. Then the success slowly started turn towards us. So in 5 years, we created a cloud-based billing solution. So the same ERP system, we simplified into small components of app and user-friendly applications like billing, purchase module, and accounts, inventory, how to deposit money. Everything we developed a small app. The owner can able to see their role in the small app. Then we saw that whatever happened in doesn't happen in 5 years. Things started happening in 2 years.
Okay.
So we got a huge traction from the market, and the market started recognizing us, and then it created an interest on us to further simplify.
Right.
So we simplified in such a way that we now achieved a lot of milestones. Like past consequent 3 years, we are doing national level sports event. We are supplying a software.
Wow. Okay.
Like we did FIFA Arab Cup 3 years before, and 2 years before we did FIFA, and all the stadiums using our software. And last year we did it for Asia Cup also. We supplied all the software to the stadiums.
Right.
Now we have a good tie-up with the banks. We are now come up with the innovative payment system integrated with the billing solutions.
Wow.
And
Okay.
hugely we are trying to reduce the cost towards the individuals on acquiring a billing system, enabling the payment systems and digital payments and everything we have started doing. And quite good. Recently we have seen that considerable growth in our business.
Wow.
So this is a background about it.
That's great, sir. It was a very good insight to how your journey has been so far and the history of your company. So what I take from your history is that the market research is very important, is it? To understand, what market you're in, what kind of people you'll be serving, if I'm understanding correctly, and also to simplify things as much as possible and to streamline it.
Correct. So, what my understanding is, it definitely doesn't matter how good your product, how technologically you are advanced, until otherwise, if you don't understand the market and if you don't embrace the culture, you cannot able to launch the product.
Right.
And you need to understand what is the need and what market demands. And at the same time, we cannot completely address what the market needs. We need to ensure that we are always slightly above or pushing the market requirement slightly higher than what it needs.
Right.
We cannot go to the core of market needs. We need to be always in the boundaries of the market needs, and we need to push the technology, we need to push our achievements so that our growth is always will be there.
Right.
So we always try to do a lot of research. We try to study the market deeply. We try to understand what the customer what they are crying for, and we try to address it as much as possible.
Okay. With 21 years of experience in the IT industry, what specific challenges have you faced, especially in this market, and what gaps did you try to fill in terms of the products that you're offering?
When I started seeing the market, I was when I say 14 to 15 years before or 24 years before, when I tried to launch a cloud-based product. The first thing is if something is not there in the market, we need to educate the market. The first thing we need to educate. Let's say 15 years before, cloud was always a buzzword. They will say that cloud. But what is a cloud? So the first thing is education, because over the time, even before COVID, when we say we have a cloud-based application, the people used to resist. No, I want a data in my office. I want the data in my desk. I want the data in my bank. I want safe. So it's very difficult for me to convince the market that cloud is the future. The people don't much concern about future. The people more concern about now. So I want the customer to come one step towards me, and I want to go towards the customer one step, and we need to agree, then only the sale will happen. So I study the market. Though it was a cloud-based application, it's very difficult for me to convince the customers to buy a cloud-based application 14 years before. Right. The people always say, no, I want within my premises. So the first thing I need to start with education. Right. So I will tell that you will lose the data, and you have to maintain on your own. So many things I used to educate. So a couple of years went on educating the market itself. Right. So over the time, when the COVID come, the market become highly conducive to accept these cloud-based applications. Nowadays, you can see the governance, regulatory, even the banks, airlines, everybody started adopting the cloud-based application after a cloud fully. It is not anymore a futuristic technology. It become a very integral part of us. So initial days, I struggled to convince the customer and the market towards the cloud-based application. Number one. Number two, when I started a business around 14 years before, we were from Qatar. We have a different cost. We have a different regulatory we need to fulfill, and we have a different commitment we need to fulfill when we are in local. But the people from outside, like Dubai or from India or from Lebanon and other country, they come for a 6 months vacation and they try to sell as much as possible, as cheap as possible, and they try to go off. And they give a very, very competitive price where we cannot even imagine. Because their goal is a short term. Our goal is a long term. We need to fulfill the regulatory, we need to fulfill the local existence, and so many things we have over it. So competing people who have a short term and competing people where thinking a long term is a very big challenge for us to overcome. So we need to educate the market. Yes, when they are trying to give that, are you sure they are completely obliged with the regulatory here? Are they going to stay here for longer? Tomorrow the regulatory is changing certain things, whether you will get that particular changes done. Are you in a safe hand? Your data is in a safe place.
Right.
Are you getting adequate support? Those things are all very, very challenges, and we try to educate the market. Go with the local suppliers, and try to trust locally, and think long term. Okay, and yes, obviously we need to be a very cost effective. And over the time, we identified that using a cloud is drastically reducing infrastructure cost, maintenance cost, and we try to convey and convince the customers towards it. So these are the market gap we found, and we fulfill. Now we are very clear on what we are doing, and even the customers are all very clear that they should go with a local presence, and they need to know the complete regulatory stuff. So these are all now getting well aligned. So initial days, yes, these are the gap I can find. And moreover, I am a very new to the business on early days, and now over the time and experience, we get to know that I get to know that we have to be humble, and it's not matter that I have a very expensive software and sophisticated software I have, and I have a functionality as nobody. All these egoistic things and all well addressed. Now we are in a very ground to reality and well grounded, and we are very well understand that what is the need, how simple it is, and how good it is addressing, how affordable to the customers, and how easy to adopt, and those things we are trying to address. And we also understand the nature of the market here. Say for an example, here 90% of the employees use our software. Forget 90%, 99% of the users of our software are expatriates. They probably last 3 years or 5 years here, and then they try to relocate to other places. And most of them are probably not well educated towards this domain or expertise. So this is our customer. So we need to ensure that our application, especially the cloud-based application, is usable to them. Like the people now go for a vacation, someone else will be taking care. So it should be very simple. And I'm sure the users of our software doesn't know the English, and the users of our software doesn't know their own domain skills, because acquiring the skills, experience skills is a challenge. So we addressed all those things to within our software. Now it become a part of a culture here. Now I can say that when we try to listen our application, how it is being adopted is according to the expatriates who live here, without having a much background about their domain. Still they can use our software. Our user experience is so simple, and our user experience is well accommodated to the culture here. So yeah, so now our product is well accepted here.
So in terms of the language barrier that you might face with some of your customers, how exactly is it overcome?
See, the language barrier, one of my user experience team, I think it's more relevant to your team also. So I just checked with one of my user experience team, and he's a quite genius friend. When we discuss, he always asks, what is the best user experience or UI, user interface? Then we argue that it should be simple and it should not. But that guy give a very abstractive answer. The best user experience or user interface is no user interface. There should not be any user interfaces itself. So it has to work without interfaces. So that's the best, technically best user experience. That means I'm answering your question, the language. So the language is also one of the interfaces to the system. But it should not have any language constraints, because the people are from different countries. Let's say Arabic background, Hindi, Nepal, Bangladesh, Tamil, Malayalam, so many languages. So our application has to cater all the people and all the languages. But in the mobile or tablet, we have only this much space. How you can accommodate so many languages, so many things? So what we did is, we pull out the language itself. So our software doesn't have much languages or labels or captions in it. Our user interfaces are fully work with your sense. We try to put the colors and symbols and the size and the position. So this is very good important to use a multilingual people to use the application.
Correct.
So we went beyond the language. We try to work with the sense of our consumers, of our customers. So we take into account, give less weightage to the language, give more weightage to the sense, and by the means of size, color, positions, dark, weightage, and those things we given high priority.
Right. So it's very easy to use.
Very easy to use, because your language now we reduced. Right. So now it become kind of a very universal or multicultural application.
Right. Yes. Also, sir, in terms of affordability for your customer, in what ways are your products, say, giving that edge as compared to, say, non-local businesses that are probably doing it at more competitive prices, as you mentioned? So if they are offering it at lower prices, in what way is your business providing that edge, or in what different ways, in fact, is your business providing that edge, so that the customer, even in terms of affordability, they're keeping that non-local option aside and going for your business?
Yes, see, the cost is the affordability and the cost is a very integral part of market study and acceptance. So it's a very, very challenging to keep the line where we are keeping a cost. So for an example, when some customers, when we try to fix the price and go, they will say that, okay, what's your software cost? Say for an example, I am telling 1,000 riyal. No, we have a good budget. We have 5,000 riyal for this year. So we will go better software. So when you fix the price very low, certain customers will think that, no, I will go for a better software. When you say, my software is 5,000 riyal, the people say, 5,000 riyal? No, we have a budget of 100 riyals. So it is always, when we try to productize, when we try to market, we have to be very careful on fixing a price. So we go with a well-justified line of accepted by the customers and accepted by the market, and we will fix the price accordingly.
Right.
Our price also, we need to ensure that internationally what are the prices happening and whether it is affordable locally with this volume, because international products, our volume is so high. Here the volume is comparatively less. So this line is a very constant struggle. We always tried. Right. So now we have worked with so many innovations. We are using internet, not just an internet. We don't want to leave the overhead on the customer on anything as much as possible. What we did is, we are planning to tie up with certain banks. We are talking to certain regulatories to pull down the process, pull down the cost, pull down the complications, so that every shop is affordable to have a software and organized and participate in the digitalization.
Right.
So digitalization as a vision, several people has, and I took it as a mission. I took it as a life, and I'm doing it on daily basis.
Yes.
And the cost, without we are trying to pull down no hardware cost. That's my objective. So we are planning to pull down the hardware cost, and we will put it our software inside the bank terminal, so that the payment terminal itself will have a billing solution.
Right.
And we try to reduce using external hardwares. We try to pull down the cost as much as possible.
So, QSale is described as a cloud business ecosystem. So, could you elaborate for us exactly what that entails and how this ecosystem is benefiting small and medium-sized enterprises?
Yes. See, when you say a software, that means we need to have to aid the people. A software cannot drag the speed or drag the process. It has to aid the process and operations. So developing a software, such a thing is not so easy. We had quite a good challenges when we tried to develop, because on a single day a software cannot develop. We always try to draw a line. This may be a requirement, but this is not just what it needed. It has to undergo, evaluate in the business. We will see how it is being, whether it is aiding or dragging, it is improvising. Those things we need to check. So small and medium enterprise, the first and foremost thing is, it's always easy to deploy a software for a very big companies like enterprise, like Qatar Airways and those people, those big organizations, big enterprises. Adopting a software is comparatively easy. I may be talking strangely, but it is very difficult to automate for a small bakala shops or a small retail shops. Why? Because in small retail shop, there is only one guy do almost everything. He need to take care about sales, inventory, expiry date, purchases, stock, account certain degree, and cash flow. Sometimes marketing and sales, he need to talk well with the customers.
Right.
This is the one guy has to really do the whole show of the small shop.
Yes.
So adapting software on top of that is not a easy thing. But at the same time, a company like Ooredoo or Qatar Airways, there is well organized. They have a well established streamline. They have a process. So deploying a software is comparatively easy to them, because there is at least more than one people will be there, and there is a dedicated people to do a data entry and enter the data. They are educated. They know what they are doing. So it's easy in certain way. So when I try to deploy a software to a small and medium, we faced a lot of challenges, lot of challenges. I found there is no software for small businesses in Qatar. So very first thing is, let me address that first. Adapting a software without a process in place is a very difficult thing. So, and giving a software where one guy has to do everything is a second biggest thing. And also the customer behavior, when you try to use a software, whether the customer is accepting. I will give you a simple example. Our behavior when we try to go to Lulu and there is 10 people in the queue, we will stand very politely until our turns comes. But the same attitude, we will not have it in a small bakala shops. We will tell that why it is so crowded, why can't you do fast, and people used to react. Because we go to a good infrastructure, good things, we behave differently. Same when we go to a small shop, our behavior, wet market, when we try to go to the fresh market, we behave very differently. So on top of that, we need to deploy a software and we need to speed up the whole thing, organize the whole thing. So this all we keep it into a challenge and we develop a software to address this, small and medium. And hopefully, it took nearly 2 years for us to understand that how to adopt a software for single man army in a small shops. So when we try to develop a software, cloud software, we have a lot of assumptions. And then assumptions, when it comes to reality, it get breaked and it get challenged. We will try to improvise. So we cannot expect a small shop to have a constant, continuous connectivity in the internet, number one. Number two, education, language, here and there understanding. So everything I need to simplify, pull out the complexity. And then finally we arrived at a very simple solution. Number one. Number two, your major question is towards the complexities, and you are asking about the gap.
Yes, sir. And exactly how it's helping them, like, the
Yes.
small and
Okay.
medium.
So it's a very interesting question. When we try to give a software, what happened is initial days, let's say for restaurant, we have given one billing solutions. Our target and our objective is previously it is unorganized ordering system. If somebody in the table in a small restaurant and somebody is coming and ordering, I need one plate of bread, sandwich. So the waiter will come and ask, sir, what do you want? They will give a paper-based menu. Sandwich how much? 3 real. Okay, one sandwich. So this waiter will say, one sandwich. That's it. The communication happened. They will prepare a sandwich. They will come and give. When we try to automate this, our software should be faster than one sandwich when they order. So they need to open the mobile. They need to show the menu. They need to agree. They need to select. They need to understand 3 real. And they say 3 real, one sandwich. They need to search SAN. And then they need to select one quantity and submit. And everything should happen faster than one sandwich. Right. So this is a challenge we had. Which is faster?
One sandwich.
One sandwich is always faster. One sandwich, the cook will prepare one sandwich, and so how I can aid the process? I cannot drag the process. I cannot tell the small sandwich company to learn English and type sandwich and select and print and think. So many events. But I need to organize. That's our challenge. We made it. We made the software in such a way that faster than one sandwich.
Okay.
Do you guess how it is?
Not sure, sir.
Please guess. I need some wild guess.
Okay. Maybe
how we can reduce the speed of one sandwich?
Maybe just keeping it as a logo, maybe, and it's just pressed and it goes directly.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Okay. So but
there's no
if there is an item of 75 items, still they need to drag and identify. So even this is slightly slower than one sandwich.
Right.
Okay. Now, what happens is, what we did is, this is our complications. So our user experience team did it, how we can automate this. So what we did is, we completely cut down the waiter itself. We remove the voice of one sandwich.
Right.
We have given a QR code. We have given a mobile. So the customer can able to scan the QR code and they select sandwich. They explore, they read all the paleo diet and the calorific value, all those things the waiter may not know. It's a very redundant. So he select everything, he is satisfied and he submit. It will print here and cook will know in a well organized way. Yes, and this is how the entrepreneurship should go. Right. So what we did is, we drastically reduced the voice of one sandwich itself. We never compete with one voice, like one sandwich. We completely cut down the voice itself and we organized digital way of taking an order. Now we given the same solution to the small cafeterias itself. And this is a simplification, we made it in the market. And now the owners of the cafeteria, they don't need a waiters.
Right.
Number one, huge cost saving. They don't need to really print the menu. It's in the QR code. And it is well justified that how many orders. There is no revenue leakage. Okay. Right. What is a guarantee that the waiter say one sandwich and he invoiced it. Now, when they say one sandwich, it is printed and for sure he need to pay and the money go to the owner. Correct. And huge simplification, well digitalized. So this is what we did it. So we did a lot of fundamental changes, not just us, most of us did it, but we did it in a very local way. We put it in Arabic, we add images, we reduced our languages, and we did our betterment. Now, due to this huge simplification, we went up to FIFA World Cup and stadiums, huge crowd, everything we managed. Right. This is an innovation, we made it in small and medium scale.
Right. This innovation seems very apt for even businesses that are, say, not fully functioning, say right after COVID times when businesses were half open and, like, you say you had certain options and staffing was lesser, or you couldn't dine in, but you could still order and take it away, things of that sort. So I see this being very apt even for COVID times, in fact, and now of course. So
Yes.
that's great.
So really, COVID time has given us COVID after COVID and during COVID. It just given us a good market space for us to get into.
Right.
So then they understand that from the home they can place order, because one sandwich doesn't need to be there inside the table and place order. They can do it from their living room. So then we given an e-commerce. So I answer the question of ecosystem. QSale is not just a billing solution. I named it as an ecosystem. When I say ecosystem, it has all the demand and as well as the supply and everything in a one single platform. So what we did is we tried to give online options. We have given a digital menus, QR codes, and when they place an order, it will try to print it in the kitchen, and they can connect to a delivery systems like Snunu. And now it is well organized. We created a complete ecosystem. Also, we are also supporting digital marketing. Like for an example, when they define a product in a retail shop, I'm from let's say from India. We are very special on this masala and spices and other stuff. When the new product comes, when they do in the purchase invoices, we try to propagate in the digital marketing. So your purchase invoice or your purchase order itself will trigger the digital marketing.
Right.
So you must be knowing that nowadays the people are more talking about digital marketing, and which is unavoidable. And the new generations, and they are very interested more on digital marketing. They cannot affordable to pay advertisement cost or not feasible. In Qatar, it is not easy to place our product on the road and make advertisement. So we try to put a digital marketing inside the purchase invoice itself, and we try to propagate the product as much as possible. So our ecosystem has almost everything. And also we try to reduce product master creation. We have a huge amount of product database which we have. So almost all the Qatar product with a QR with the barcode, images and the name and category, we have it in our cloud. So when the people try to scan the product, it try to recognize the product automatically, so that they don't need to define the product master. It will come automatically from the system. They need to simply put their sensitive information like purchase price, purchasing supplier, and the sale price, and they can save it during a purchase. So it's highly organized, and especially we fill the gap of that small and medium scales unaffordability. We eradicated. Now it is more than 600 shops.
Wow,
in past 3 years they are using our software. I'm sure that I did a good role on digitalization, and digitalization is not just a simple thing. As an individual through the company, I achieved it for the 600 small shops.
Right. So I must ask, how big is your company? Since you all have also helped small, medium, and also large enterprises. So currently, how big is your company? How big is your team? How many people are working on all of these interfaces?
See, the major problem to answer this question is I have a very big team of, but don't laugh, a very big team of more than 18 people. I feel like it's very big, because in IT company, this doesn't quantify by number of people. So it is well quantified by less people, more delivered. Like for an example, even the 5 people is enough, but it has to deliver the huge functionalities. So to answer the question, I have a huge team. To me, 18 people is very huge. I want only 5 to 10 people or 6 people. If after AI, no people is still okay. Only me and AI. So what I meant to say is we are around 18 people, because we have a different streamlines, different departments, like somebody has to collect the cash, somebody has to do marketing, somebody has to. So we are a team of 18, and our team is, I feel, is optimum.
Okay, moving on to the next question. So can you tell us a little bit about what Qatar's environment is like for startups, and what your experience has been in terms of the regulatories in Qatar?
It's a very wonderful question. This will be very helpful for the startup also, because I have collectively more than 14 years of experience, and definitely I would like to share this. From my understanding and from my experience, Qatar is a beautiful place to do a startup. There are 1,000 reasons which I can list constantly. Number one, Qatar is highly conducive, and Qatar is a very welcoming market for the startups. I will tell why. Number one, they like innovations. They are ready to spend for innovations. Unlike other countries they are very cost calculative. They will not welcome new things. But Qatar is not like that. Anything if you do, the people will welcome.
Right.
Second thing is Qatar market is highly affordable. Every business have affordability to buy. Third thing, Qatar regulatory. Qatar regulatory is very crystal clear. We know what they want and they listed everything very clearly. So you can do very clearly what you want to achieve. And what is the regulations? What is its boundary? Everything is well defined in Qatar.
Right.
And third thing, anything you want to achieve, you can achieve it very easily. If I want to go to industrial area, other end, I can go within 45 minutes.
Correct.
I want to go to the other end, Alco, it is 1.5 hours. So my traveling time is highly reduced. If I want to solve a solution for any manufacturers and I want to visit them, it takes only 45 minutes for me to go there. Unlike in other places, if I really want to go to the manufacturing sector, it's 3 days business. I need to go by flight, and in other country I am talking about. Let's say even I do it in any other places.
Yes,
but here 45 minutes I can drive, I can engage, and the people are very open. Here, especially when you go for any new innovations or a sales, the people will respect. Meaning they respect you, they spend time with you, they will never ignore. At least they will say I am busy.
Correct.
But in other places, if you go to any other places, they will say, no, are you from sales? No, don't come here, I am busy. Like that they will show. Here, no. The people are very open-minded. They will open and they will listen. At least they will say no. And no is very, very important for us. Okay? Because we need to know at least they are not interested.
Correct.
And they have a courtesy to say here. In other places, they don't even listen. So I see Qatar is a beautiful place. And also, I can see technically Qatar regulatories and all the startup, they want to groom the Qatar business as much as possible. They have streamlined so many things. They given like a Cubic Center, Qatar Incubation Center, Qatar Scientific, and even Nautica 360. And all these people are really creating a wonderful place for the startup.
Yes, sir.
So I highly recommend the people to really do a startup here. And also, I'm very recently learning this fishing. So I would like to correlate that my fishing experience with the market here. So I see that the Qatar market is like doing a fishing in a backwaters. So how? In a backwaters there is a low tide and high tide. And during a high tide you can see a big fish coming, and you can even see the shark and big fishes. On a low tide there will be only small fishes.
Okay.
So Qatar market also like that. It's sometime it will be in a very high tide. We can see big fishes jumping, and sometimes it's a low tide. We need to prepare for the low tide. So I used to this market of high tide and low tide, and breed our product, whatever the software or services, we can very well breed that in the market. Because the market is very conducive to breed and validate our product. And if we really talk to a regulatory and we really ask for proper funding, we can broadcast to the rest of the world. And this is wonderful place to do a business. So this is, I highly recommend the people to really work, especially on a startup here.
Yes, sir. So in terms of, I really liked your analogy of high tides and low tides. What would you say is the best way for an entrepreneur to cope with the low tides? Like, to be prepared for the low tides.
See, as I said, the business is not always positive.
Yeah.
The business is not always profitable. The business is not always will keep you happy. So until otherwise, if you know how to go beyond success and failure, or you are within bound of success and failure, it's very painful for you to handle the market. So definitely as an entrepreneur, as a founder, yes, this success and failure are very important, but we need to always think beyond that. Okay, either the success or a failure should not stop you. Very first thing. So if you are highly confined with these factors, you may be fulfilled very easily with the failures, or you will be highly fulfilled with the success. Either one will stop you. So go beyond success and failure, number one. Which is a very impractical statement, If you really want to go beyond failure, it's a very impractical statement. But we need to keep it as a vision or technical goal. Try to thrive for it. Okay? Go beyond success. Go beyond failure. It's not so easy. It's highly motivational when you listen. But when you walk through after the failure, it's not so easy. But that's a very important practice, number one. Number two, when we try to work with the customers and they are giving a bad comment, it's much important than a good comment. So we need to evaluate that bad comments and we need to address that. And if you do it, I am just giving a product, and the best customer to you is who make a lot of noise, who is more uncomfortable, who is making noise, and this is a guy is very friendly for you. He is helping you to make your product and services good shape. And if you listen for 5 to 10 customers constantly over the time of 6 months, you will have a best product, and no doubt about it.
Sir, I really liked your analogy of the high tides and the low tides. What, in your opinion, would be the best way for an entrepreneur to cope with the low tides, or to stay afloat, or to make sure they are equally as good with the low tides?
Okay, so as I said, with the same analogy, it's always we need to be well prepared. Like when we are growing, we are always excited, and we are, wow, I have got an order of few million real, I have 25 people, and I have big office, I have a good inventory. When the growth is good, with the same attitude, when you are growing, when you are going down also, we need to gracefully accept that going down also, because scale down is a very important tool for a survival. If you really want to survive, the way you handle the scale up, if you don't know how to handle the scale down, survival is a big question mark. So if you really want to exist, and if you really want to survive, if you are not mastered how to scale down on demand, you are done. Your size become a big problem. So we should always ensure that we are not below the low tide, and we need to ensure that we are well prepared for a high tide. And these threshold, we should able to handle it very gracefully and very consciously. If you know how to handle this delta, you are well successful.
Moving on to our next question. So in terms of digitalization and Qatar National Vision 2030, in what ways do you see QSale contributing to this process?
Yeah, I will say QSale definitely has a very integral part in that vision. I can say it's in a very core position we have. Unlike other products, QSale is very particular about digitalization. Digitalization, as I said earlier, digitalization enterprise, big enterprise, it's a piece of cake. They are affordable, feasible, doable. Digitalization on a small and medium is completely not doable, not affordable, not open. And until otherwise, if you are doing the last milestone of the small business aided with the digitalization, the vision not going to fulfill. So QSale is very particularly addressing about the last milestone of a small and medium business, specifically on a small business. So I can say that yes, QSale has a huge contribution or a core of a contribution towards this digitalization mission. Number one. Number two, as I mentioned earlier, automating and regulating and aiding the process of the small business is not a child's play. It demands very inclusive activity. So it needs a very particular study about the business, their nature, their capacity, their capabilities, and every aspect we need to understand to do this. In past 10 years, I was observing this behavior. I haven't stopped only by observation. I really tried several ways. In all several ways, whenever I get a failure, I try to see how I can reiterate without tired, how to improvise. Say for an example, we try to place a small software for a small shop. We found a lot of challenges. I'm talking about 4-5 years before. We found a lot of challenges to automate them. Because there is no people, there is no procurement people, there is no anybody to help one single cashier. One single cashier has to define a product master. Let's say for an example, water bottle. They need to define it in our software. How they can do, there is always 15 people in the queue. And without his knowledge, the supplier will come and keep it and give a bill. So we studied this behavior and we automated this. So we created a very cloud-based system, an ecosystem, where it defined almost all the product master in the cloud. Let's say we have anything in the retail shop you are buying. We have that information in our cloud background. So we have all the products, QR code, most of the products. We have images, which category, what's the product name, what is the specifications, we have it. So the every shop simply scan and type only the purchase price and sale price and whom he purchased and then save it. They can do it during a sales time itself. They don't need to be well organized to do purchase invoices. We have given an app for the purchase invoices also. So we have automated so many restaurant cafeterias. We have a beautiful customer base at the moment. Our customer base is like Tea Time, Shatrabas, even UDC use our Pearl Qatar, several shops using our software all over the places. Now we reach in such a way that in the radius of every major city area, every 1 kilometer, definitely 1 or 2 customers we have.
Wow, okay.
Now our software also have a free, I cannot say a free, I want to rephrase it. It's a integrated e-commerce in it.
Okay.
So the people who live around our cashier system, 1 kilometer, based on their deliverable capabilities, they can broadcast the product. So they can open the app and they can select a product, they submit, it will come and print in the POS. They can go and deliver if they have a deliverable capabilities.
Okay.
And according to their deliverable capabilities, according to their deliverable people, volume, time, they can configure and they can expand the market digitally. And they can shrink the market according to their, because today one of my delivery person is in vacation. I can only 2 kilometers by the cycle I can go and deliver it. This software allows them to deliver by the cycle within 2 kilometer radius. This product will be broadcasted. The people can place an order and they can go and deliver it, and they purchase it. The inventory will go up. When they sell, the inventory will go down, and it will trigger the purchase people to come and fulfill it. So it's an ecosystem we have.
Right.
So it's a beautiful system. Definitely, we are looking for a very good support from people, those who set a vision, and we need a support from them to really regulatory and the banks. We need a support to really spread this software all over the places. Our objective is to contribute towards this vision, and if we get any sort of support to achieve this, definitely we can fulfill.
Right.
So we are open to talk and we are open to work with the regulatory to make this digitalization everywhere if we have a very integral support with us.
Right. So I see your ecosystem already very much a part of sporting events, and you've branched out into banks and even F&B. Is there any other market you see yourself branching out into?
Yes, when we open a business, we were opportunistic. Like we were keep our options like this. If you want website, we will do. If you want anything, we will do. Now over the time, we try to, we are trying to be more specific to what we are doing.
Right.
So now we reduced our domains, we reduced our particular to the FMB, and also verticals and segment. So we try to fulfill first with FMCG, small and medium, and then enterprise. When it comes to the restaurant, cafeteria, and pop-up shops, now to the chain of restaurants.
Right.
So now slowly we are going to electricals, mobile shops, and to the big. So we are going both different verticals and different segments,
Right.
because I don't think any software, a single software, can fit for multiple verticals and multiple segments. There is no single. You cannot domesticate elephant as your pet animal.
Yes.
Okay, so we can only maximum have a dog or a cat. So we cannot domesticate elephant. So a SAP cannot go and utilized in a small retail shop.
Yes.
So this is a very we are going with vertical and segment, and we are going step by step.
So, do you have any advice for young entrepreneurs who are just starting out in the market?
Yes, definitely. As I said in earlier stages, try to do simple things than complicated things. Number one. Number two, go beyond success and failure. Don't confine yourself with success and failure.
Yes, sir.
Try to understand the market and requirements and work very specifically to it. And don't give up so easily. And when scale down, be graceful. Understand which market you are working, and understand its currents and behaviors, and be with it.
Right.
So these are my main advice. And as an individual, as an entrepreneur, don't start the business without passion. Don't see someone else, and don't convert your hobby to a business. I never studied about this definition for passion and other things. I don't know. Even I don't know I am correctly pronouncing the word. But what I understand is the passion is something, there is a big difference between your job, your hobby, and your passion. Your job is that you do for the money. Correct. Your hobby is even somebody not paying you, you will do it and you get happy about it. But the passion is something much beyond your job and much beyond your hobby.
Right.
Okay. So this passion is something very inclusive to your soul. Okay. Your life energies. So until otherwise, if you think beyond the success and failure, that's only comes when you are so inclusive towards your willingness towards to achieve this. So in passion, the people, if you have started a business with a passion, even the business is going down, you will never give up. You will still look for an opportunity. You will still constantly failing, and so on failing.
Correct.
If in job you will give up, in hobby you will give up, but in passion you will never give up.
Yes, sir.
Fail and fail and fail. You will wait for the success. And when the success comes, you will not fully satisfied and stop.
Right.
Again, next fail and next fail and next fail. Wait for the next success.
Right.
You will never stop.
Right.
So you will never stop during a failure and a success. And that's what I always say, go beyond it.
Right.
And one more thing. As an individual, you have a passion, you are doing a business, it's your individual problem. If you do along with the family, that's a very big topic. I make it short. The fact shows almost 99% or 98% entrepreneurs got divorced because it's like it's like addiction only. No different from other addiction. This business and passion also like addiction, beyond the addiction, very strong addiction. So you need to prepare a family towards all the high and low. And because they have to come along, they have a peer pressure. So we need to know that along with the family, you are able to contain this passion. So you have to prepare a family towards it also.
Right. So it's very important to have a support system.
Correct. Your counterpart and the kids need to know that.
Right.
You are doing a business, and the business is not necessarily to be highly successful and fail. It can be a both,
Right.
We need to conduct our life and we need to conduct our happiness through all these up and downs.
Right.
So if that preparation is not there, and if you are not, you only prepared, your family is not prepared, it's complete failure.
Right.
So we need to ensure the family also understand this journey and travel, and they are also able to cope up, which is very important.
Right.
So my advice is not just you, whole family.
Right.
They need to understand and ensure that they are not much affected by the success and they are not much affected with the failures.
Right.
Stabilize.
Right. So starting a business, what I'm understanding from our conversation, there's a lot of everyday effort and a lot of consistency, correct? Even in terms of like mental growth and like preparing yourself, making sure you have all the right tools and the support system and everything. So that was very great to know, sir. It was very good knowing that there's so much that goes behind even starting a company in terms of just planning your finances, planning what you want to do, and making sure what you're passionate about is something that you're going to be consistent with every single day.
It is true.
So what would you say your goals are for the future in terms of your company, and where do you see your company going in the future?
Definitely, my objective is to, until otherwise, you embrace the culture, you try to go with the market, you cannot sustain and exist.
Right.
So I need to ensure that I am aligning with the national vision and the regulatory objectives, and obviously I want to contribute to the every business they are able to adopt and organize themselves and grow. So that's a core important of my aim. So I have a complete greedy of the software should be used by every businesses in Qatar, and it has to aid the value, and it has to be everywhere, and it has to be irreplaceable with any other things.
Right.
So whatever it takes, I will do it towards it.
Right.
And finally, I should not confine myself only in Qatar. I need to do the same thing to the rest of the world from Qatar. So if I able to do here, and if I'm able to convince and be with the regulatories and the national vision and every individual who participate in the users, I want to get it globally, and I want to make the rest of the world attention toward this product from this country.
Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. It was very great getting all of this insight into your life and into your company and what it was like as an entrepreneur for you all these years. So thank you so much once again for coming and talking to us. We hope this has helped every budding entrepreneur out there.
Indeed, thanks for you to really have me here, and I feel very relaxed after this interview. And I see your team members are very cooperative, and this is a very wonderful conversation we had.
Thank you.
And feel free to contact us anytime if you are looking for any sort of support. Visit our website QSale.qa, and my mobile number is 6681 5564. And looking forward.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thanks
you
so much.
again.
Thanks.